الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، يقول الله عز وجل: وقوموا لله قانتين. Today we are in one of the most blessed days of the whole year. This is the day when Musa alayhi salam, the great prophet Moses, we try to use the Arabic names. Musa alayhi salam, he was saved by this great tyrant, great oppressor. Everyone knows the story, everyone's heard the stories in the Quran and from the pulpits as well. What type of an oppressive government he had. Just for us to relate to what we have nowadays, for us to understand that this type of governance always existed and always will exist. There is no point of time that you will not find in one place or another an oppressive government. At all times, nearly at all times in some part of the world, there will always be oppression. This is the way of Allah. If there is no hardship, you will not understand what ease is. If there is no ease and luxury, and vice versa. For a person to understand what good health is, he must first become ill. If a person is an MMA fighter, let's say, he doesn't feel anything. He is at his peak health of his life, literally. But if you see 30, 40 years down the line, when his health deteriorates, then he understands what type of a great blessing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed me with during my peak years of my life. So likewise, money as well. Some people, they inherited billions, not even millions, billions. But within 10 years, you see them, they've lost all money, they've gone into jail, they end up in drugs, and they live a very miserable life. So, a person will not understand. That's why a person who builds from nothing is a true king. A person that hasn't got good health and he makes an effort, great effort, to build his health, this is good. But of course, you must take precaution even before that bad health comes about. Likewise with finances, everyone is concerned nowadays with finance. How am I going to sustain myself? Raziq is Allah. Always in your mind keep it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my Raziq. He is the sole provider, He is the sole sustainer, He is the sole cherisher. There's no one else that sustains. My job does not sustain. My job cannot do. My employer cannot do. Without the tawfiq of Allah, your employer cannot do. One brother, he asked the other day, I'm going to an interview. I said, brother, don't worry. We get so agitated, we get so nervous when it comes to these interviews. Everyone's been through it. Everyone's been through the process. Most of us have been through that process. You get very nervous. But if the job is meant for you, I'm telling you, even if you've done very bad at the interview, they'll still take you on. Why? That job is destined for you. Allah wants you to go into that job and to experience whatever you need to experience. Sometimes you learn from the job and you move on. Sometimes you have a good experience. You have a good experience. If you have a bad experience, you take lesson and you move on with life. Never ever give up on life. Many people, they go from one job to another, and then eventually what happens is they get so mentally broken, they don't want to move on anymore. Then they want to go on the benefit system. This is really bad. This is extremely bad. The life of a Muslim is never to give up. Till our last breath, we have to fight with this La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. This is the true life of a Muslim. Our La ilaha illallah always comes first. Even if you don't have anything in this world, La ilaha illallah is our greatest success. Coming back to the topic inshallah today. Today is the 10th of Muharram. I hope everyone is fasting. This great day when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam heard from the Jews that the Jews fast on this day because of the great victory that Musa alayhi salam had over the Pharaoh, had over Fir'aun. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, we should be the ones that are more suitable to fast on this day than them. Then Rasulullah in another narration, he adds that makes mukhalafa of the Jews, meaning they fast on this day as well. What you should do is fast a day, add a fast day before it or day after it. So if you fast 9 and 10, that's fine. If you fast 10 and 11, that's also fine. Some ulama, they said it is makruh to just fast on the 10th only. To specify just the 10th, it is makruh because of the prohibition of Rasulullah. Now that prohibition of Rasulullah, many of the ulama, they also said there's no true dislikeness. This dislikeness is of a lower category because it's just to show a difference between us and them. It's just to show a difference between us and them. So therefore this makruh is makruh tanzihi at the most. Many said khilaful awla. It's better not to just fast on the 10th. So it's going contrary to the best form, basically. That's what khilaful awla means. So even if a person can't fast 9th and 10th, maybe because the days are too long and you're working and, at least fast the 10th, and if you can, the 9th and 10th, and 10th and 11th, whichever way. You don't need to fast all 3 days. No, there's no hadith saying that you must fast all 3 days. The Muharram itself is the first year of the calendar. Everyone knows this. Okay? Muharram, Safar, Rabiul Awwal. Got the Nasheed. MashaAllah. It's very important for us as Muslims to know our calendar, because our calendar is unique. It's not like the solar calendar that we follow, January, February, March, April, May. There's unique qualities in every single month of the year. Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, he was one of the great commentators. So Fathul Bari, everyone knows to be written by who? Ibn Hajar. Yeah? Everyone knows it's written by Ibn Hajar. Fathul Bari is the best commentary on Sahih al-Bukhari. But before Ibn Hajar, Ibn Rajab, he titled his book that he wrote on the commentary of Bukhari, and he's got gems inside there which Ibn Hajar doesn't. Okay, his one's not complete. It's in like, I think half of it's, just over half of it's complete. But he didn't manage to complete the whole book. He passed away before completing. There's many authors like this. Even Raddul Muhtar in the Hanafi madhab, one of the greatest books of fatwa or fiqh. Even that book, the author passed away before he completed the book. Many books like he completed the book. And they complete the books. Jalalain, the Tafsir Jalalain that we study in Madrasa, in Darul Ulum. Tafsir Jalalain, the teacher done the tafsir of it in the last half. So from Surah Kahf until Surah Nas. After he finished Surah Nas, he passed away. Teacher passed away. Best student was Imam Suyuti, Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, the great Allama, Hafidud Dunya, the great Shafi'i scholar. The students came to him and said, there's no one that's capable of doing what Ustad done, because the tafsir is so brief. You'd be amazed at the size. You'd be like, wow, it's such a small book. But it's so, if a master of tafsir studies that, it's like references for him. It's literally like one word is the reference to balagha. It's a whole topic on balagha. Another word is a whole topic on mantiq. Another word is a whole topic on mustalah al-hadith. You'd be completely like amazed. If you have a true scholar that knows Jalalain properly, inside out, the way he'll be able to open it up for you is absolutely amazing. Amazing, that book. It's like a reference book for scholars. It's not really for laymen. Many people think Tafsir Jalalain is a small book. It's for any person and any person that knows Arabic. Any person that knows Arabic will not understand terminologies. You must study the terminologies of usul al-fiqh. You must study the terminologies of balagha. You must study the terminologies of ulum al-Quran. Otherwise you won't know what it's referring to. Even if you know Arabic, you can translate it, you won't understand it. It's like translating da'if. I gave the example the other day, isn't it? Translating da'if, you're going to translate it as weak. Why are you going to understand in English from weak? Whereas the scholar of hadith, he's meaning the word weak in 120 meanings. So which 120 meaning is he referring to? But a layperson who doesn't know the terminologies of the science of hadith, he's going to be lost. He's going to be like, oh, this hadith is weak. This is a joke. To a non-scholar, he thinks he understands something. To a scholar, he knows exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about 120 branches within that field of weakness. What type of weakness is this? Inshallah, I'm going to discuss this. Fasting in the month of Muharram. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أفضل الصيام بعد رمضان شهر الله المحرم وأفضل الصلاة بعد الفريضة صلاة الليل رواه مسلم واللفظ له وأبو داود والترمذي والنسائي ورواه ابن ماجه. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reports Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the best type of fasting after Ramadan is the month of Muharram, this month of Muharram, the first month of the calendar. And the best salah after the fard salahs, after your Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, yes, is Tahajjud salah. Try to never miss Tahajjud salah, even if it's 2 rakats after Isha. After the witr, even if it's 2 rakats, you know you can't wake up, at least 2 rakats, pray that 2 rakats, with the intention of Tahajjud. Tahajjud, the meaning of Tahajjud, so that would be considered as Qiyamul Layl. Some scholars make a distinction, some scholars don't make a distinction. But Tahajjud means that you pray salah after you wake up. Okay, that's what Tahajjud means. That you pray some salah after you wake up. Whereas Qiyamul Layl can be any time, after Isha, after witr, before witr, after Isha, all throughout the night until Fajr time comes, just before Fajr time comes in. So, the best salah after the fard salahs is Tahajjud salah. Is Salatul Layl, praying at night. Next hadith, I'll give you the crux inshallah. A Sahabi comes to Rasulullah and says, which month after the month of Ramadan do you order me to fast? Meaning fast a lot, fast in abundance. Because month of Ramadan we're fasting the whole month, isn't it? For a whole month of Ramadan we're fasting. So which month is similar in the sense of fasting? Which month can I fast continuously? As if I can fast the whole month. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, fast on the month of Muharram. And then he added, إن كنت صائما بعد شهر رمضان فصم المحرم فإنه شهر الله فيه يوم تاب الله فيه على قوم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave, overlooked, pardoned a whole nation on this day, on this month of Muharram. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do this again. وَيَتُوبُ فِيهِ عَلَى قَوْمٍ آخَرٍ. And He also can do this for other nations, other people as well. Subhanallah. This is in riwayah of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal in his Musnad and Tirmidhi. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من صام يوم عرفة كان له كفارة سنتين ومن صام يوما من المحرم فله بكل يوم 30 يوما رواه الطبراني في الصغير. Everyone hopefully fasted the day of Arafah. The day of Arafah. Fasting the day of Arafah, you get the reward of 2 years of minor sins being forgiven. Fasting the day of 10th of Muharram, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, this is general, fasting any day of Muharram, any day of the whole month of Muharram, you get, for each fast, you get the reward of 30 fasts. Now imagine you fast the whole month of Muharram, you get the reward of the whole year, isn't it? Huh? Each month, oh no, even more than that, subhanAllah, 3 years. Huh? 3 years. 30, if there's 30 days in the month, multiply that by 30, you're going to get approximately 900 days. Yeah, approximately 3 years, nearly 3 years. Subhanallah. So, 30 days of fasting. Each fast is 30 days fast. This is something that should encourage us. When we hear these things, we should want to fast. Because Rasulullah is telling us, fasting one day is hard enough, especially nowadays, isn't it? It's a bit hot now. So, Sahabas, I told you, used to seek out the longer days to fast. Why? Because they know the reward is greater, because the effort is harder, the sacrifice is greater. Likewise, they used to seek out the long nights in winter. They have long time to pray tahajjud. Those narrations that we have of Uthman radiallahu anhu or Imam Abu Hanifa radiallahu anhu, it's okay saying radiallahu anhu, there's no problem. With regard to ulama, there's no problem with saying radiallahu anhu. But generally, we specify it to Sahaba. Generally, anhum for them. It's okay, sometimes you'll hear some scholars, they say radiyallahu anhu, Imam al-Shafi'i or Imam Malik. That's fine, completely fine, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Generally we say rahimahumullah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy upon them. So here, 30 yawman. Now I was talking about Sahabas used to look for those long nights of prayer. When you hear Uthman radiallahu anhu and Imam Abu Hanifa praying the whole Quran in one rak'ah, whole Quran from Surah Fatiha to Nas, Allahu Akbar. When did they do this? Most probably they done it in the winter, when the nights were so long. When the nights are short like this, very hard, next to impossible. Suppose in Hijaz, it's not like this. The nights are not as short as here. But in Makkah, Medina I'm talking about. But still, they most probably sought out the longer nights, where they could pray as long as they can, without any restriction. And Imam Abu Hanifa, I told you, was known as the pillar of the masjid. Because after Isha he'd stand, and he'd continue standing right until Fajr Adhan took place. Allahu Akbar. So, one fast in the month of Muharram, this month, is the same as 30 fasts. 30 fasts. Now going on specifically to Yawmul Ashura, the 10th, today. Here, عن أبي قتادة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم سئل عن صيام يوم عاشوراء فقال يكفر السنة الماضية. رواه مسلم وابن ماجه. Whoever fasts this day of Ashura, this day when Musa alayhi salam got saved, many people, they bring up the topic of Hussein radiallahu anhu. Hussein radiallahu anhu and his martyrdom took place on the same day. It coincided. We don't fast because of the martyrdom of Hussein. Astaghfirullah. Na'udhu billah. You understand how? Are you celebrating something which one of the grandson of the Prophet passed away? It can't be possible. Ya akhi. You know? This is wrong. The Shias, they make it a big deal. That's why I'm mentioning this. We fast because of Rasulullah told us to fast. He commanded us to fast. Okay? If he lived, he would have fasted as well. Rasulullah wanted to fast, but he didn't live until the next year. He found out the year before he passed away. He found out that the Jews fast on the 10th of Muharram, the year before, just the year that he passed away. So the year after, he said, if I live, I'll fast on the 9th, or the 9th and the 10th, or 9th and the 10th, or 10th or the 11th of this month. So if Rasulullah were to live, and then we find it from the actions of the Sahaba, that the Sahaba fasted on this day, in this manner, 9th or 10th, and 10th and 11th, or 10th or 11th. So here the hadith says that a whole year's of sins get forgiven by fasting this one day. This one day is so special that a whole year, previous year's sins get passed away, get completely taken away from your slate, from your slate of bad deeds. There's another narration on Ibn Majah that it says the coming year, not the previous year, the coming, the following year, the year that's coming in front of you. So of course this narration is slightly weaker than the narration which says the previous year. The previous year, the narration is in Muslim. It's going to be definitely more authentic than the narration in Ibn Majah. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صام يوم عاشوراء أو أمر بصيامه رواه البخاري ومسلم. So Rasulullah, not only did he fast the Yawm Ashura, but he ordered to fast on the day of Ashura as well, on the 10th of Muharram. Next here we find, I already mentioned that to fast specifically only on the 10th is slightly makruh, and here on the commentary it says Ibn al-Humam. Ibn al-Humam is one of the great Hanafi scholars of the 7th century, same time as Ibn Taymiyyah and those great scholars. وعن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما أنه سئل عن صيام يوم عاشوراء فقال ما علمت أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صام يوما يطلب فضله على الأيام إلا هذا اليوم ولا شهرا إلا هذا الشهر يعني رمضان رواه مسلم. There is no day or there is no month that is more superior except Ramadan, other than Muharram and the 10th of Ashura. Okay, I just summarized the whole hadith for you. Next one, this is a hadith where our brothers who have a problem with weak hadith, they don't understand. Our sharia did not come from one person. When you see one hadith, you can't start jumping up and down. Okay? Our sharia came from thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands. It's a generational link. It's a heritage. Okay? Understand this very well. It's a generational link. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands. This is why Imam Malik used to say, even if a sahih, the highest level of sahih hadith, he narrates himself in the Muwatta, comes to me, I will reject it if, understand it well, if the ulama are in consensus, the 7 great ulama of Medina, meaning the tabi'een, the grandsons of the Sahaba, the greatest fuqaha of Medina, are in agreement that the amal is khilaful hadith. The action the practice that you must do is contrary to the hadith that is mentioned. Then surely there must be a problem with that hadith. It's an isolated hadith that was narrated and it has some background that you don't understand as a layperson. That's why you shouldn't be opening up books of hadith and start reading whatever you feel like and start jumping up and down. Is that understood? This is a very important point. Because a person thinks, oh, I saw the hadith, I must practice upon it. It goes against my madhab, therefore, there's a big problem. Are you telling me 1400 years, the ulama of each and every single madhab, none of the ulama saw that hadith, you're seeing it after 1400 years? Your sheikh from Saudi is saying it after 1400 years. Your sheikh from Egypt is saying it after 1400 years. It's possible? No, no way. No way is this possible. This is lie and buhtan against ulama, ya akhi. This is dangerous, very dangerous. So never ever claim such a thing. This is completely false. This is completely, you misunderstood the whole sharia, the whole concept of sharia. You've misunderstood the whole concept of fiqh and how fiqh came down from thousands upon thousands. This hadith is weak, agreed upon weak. Imam Bayhaqi himself says it's weak. He narrates the hadith and he says it's weak. But the difference is, he says the Sahaba, Jama'atun min as-Sahaba, they acted upon this hadith and this hadith is true. In action, they done it and they said this from our experience, we tell you this is true. The Tabi'in, they done it, they said it's 100% true. They made a practice upon it. So on face value, if you look at the sanad, this hadith is weak. But because Sahaba acted upon it, Tabi'in acted upon it, the Ustad of Imam Bukhari, Ibn Uyayna, one of the greatest scholars of hadith, the Ustad of Imam Bukhari, he practiced upon this hadith. He said, I practiced upon this hadith and I found it to be true from experience. What is the hadith? The hadith is, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من أوسع على عياله وأهله يوم عاشوراء أوسع الله عليه سائر سنته رواه البيهقي. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reports that whoever spends a lot in abundance, awsa'a, spends a lot on his family on this day, on this day of Ashura, today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make His rizq vast throughout the whole year. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will expand your rizq throughout Allah will spend on you the whole year. Inshallah, Allah will expand it too. Or it might be earning 50 grand, or there will be barakah in that 30 grand. In that, the barakah inside that 30 grand will be much better than the 60 grand that you can earn in the whole year. Is that understood? So, this is from experience of the Sahaba, of the Tabi'een, of the Atba'u Tabi'een, of the Muhaddithin. So never understand, just because the narration is weak, we don't reject no hadith like this. This is a complete misunderstanding of many of the scholars nowadays, unfortunately. And this must be clarified, because lay people are in absolute confusion. And this is a perfect example. Bayhaqi himself says, Jama'atun min as-sahaba, they practiced upon it, and they found it to be true. So you spend on your family on this day, the 10th of Ashura, inshallah, Allah will spend on you for the rest of the whole year, in abundance. Likewise, you spend in abundance in this day. Jazakumullahu khairan. Jabir radiallahu anhu is one of the companions, just to mention the companions. Jabir radiallahu anhu is one of the companions that narrated this and found it to be true. Ibn Uyayna, the Ustad of Imam Bukhari, he found this to be true as well. And lastly, Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, the author that I said, wrote Fathul Bari first. Then later on, Ibn Hajar came and he done his own Fathul Bari. Okay? And he became famous with the commentary of Sahih al-Bukhari. And you must be extremely generous on this day upon your family. Upon your family. Jazakumullahu khairan. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.